So I want to mount this poster on the wall. As you can see from the walls that they actually slope. So if I was to fix it normally, it's going to hang like this. So what's the solution? So I bought some magnets. These are super powerful magnets. They're only 10mm across, which means I only have to drill a little 10mm indentation into the frames or four corners. The same on the wall, making sure I get the polarity correct, because if it's, you can see, doesn't want to go that way, but very powerful. So each one apparently will hold 2.8 kilograms, which is plenty for the poster. So all I need to do now is mark up very carefully. So I'm going to drill into the frame, just a little depth. I'm going to super glue the magnets inside, and then I can measure those out and mark on the wall where I need to mount the magnets so they marry up. So I've got my 10mm brad drill bit, and I'm just going to take all four corners and drill the indentation in for the magnets. I'll just give them a quick hoover over, and I will super glue the magnets into place. So I'm now going to mark out exactly where these holes are, so I can cut out the holes in the wall for the other magnets. So I need to transfer those measurements onto the wall. So I'll put some marks on the wall where the poster sits, top and bottom. So now I'm going to measure in and mark the points for the magnets. I know that I've measured the poster, it's 633mm along. So I'll mark out this first one, and across to here I can actually mark in from that point anyway. All good. Let's screw the holes. They all look deep enough for the magnets, so I think we're good. So we'll get those glued in. So I've got my super glue. Now the one thing we need to make absolutely sure of is that these are facing the right way. They've got the polarity, so they're not going to push it off the wall. So if I take the first one, I know that that's that way, and the second one I can put straight in the poster. That's the way I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do a tester. That's pretty snug in there anyway. So there we go, so we know which way it wants to go. So I can just take that now and pop that in the poster. let's see if we've sorted it. Not as stable as I was hoping. Hold on. It's that corner there that feels like it's not. That's the problem there. I can see now. This wood here is jutting out there, which means that this top corner is being pushed away. So that magnet probably needs raising a little bit out so it meets with the other magnet. In fact, what I think I'll do is place another magnet here where the wood's coming out. That should be enough. One of my little spider pets. Right, so if I measure that up now, I can cut the hole in the poster. Because it's a steel ruler, you know what's just happened. I've just pulled the magnet out of the wall with the ruler. So maybe we'll leave that to dry. So I've just tested the polarity of this top one here, and even though it is out, I think this is the wrong way around. I think that these two are pushing each other apart. So I'm going to take that out and flip it round. So hopefully that's it. That's fine now. Yeah, I'm really not sure now. It's definitely being pushed out, and I think that's the problem. I think they have to actually touch for you to get the maximum amount of pull. So I think that's the problem we've got. In fact, the magnet on the wall is sat too high. So I think if I don't know quite how that's happened, but I mean, there's a lot of angles to contend with. Like this strip here, you can see it goes up here, so it's not level. Okay. Give that a little time to set, and hopefully it might be alright. If you are going to do this job, make sure that the surface underneath that your poster may potentially fall onto has not got like ribs or sharp angles that are going to damage the frame, because as you've seen, I've dropped this twice now and I've damaged the frame. I can just put a bit of black paint on it if I wanted to. Anyway, it's all fun and games. As I thought that had happened, I've not given it long enough to set. So I'm giving that top magnet plenty of time to dry now. All feels pretty dry. Oh, it's just so annoying. Yeah, it's not ideal because of the profile of the walls is pushing one corner out every time. If I stick it into the bottom, it's pushing this top corner out. If I stick the top corner in, it's pushing this out. Nevertheless, I think this is okay. It's not really in a place it's going to get touched so much, and okay, it's easy to pop off from the top, but I think this will be okay. Let's see if the next posters go up any easier. Things that go bump in the night. So last night when I was going to bed, turned off the lights and I heard a really big crash. So this poster had fallen off. If you remember, it wasn't really properly attached on this side. So now it's super strong attached. What I've simply done is I've added another magnet, because these magnets stick together. So I've got another one stuck there, and I popped another one onto it here, and now that's really getting a good grip at the top. So there you go, you even sort of felt it and heard it click back in. So that's how I've got around this bit of the wood here bulging out, which was pushing that corner away. So I didn't have to go and add the other magnet here at the high point. So pleased with that. That's definitely nice and firm now. I couldn't possibly do that before, if you remember. So the second poster I want to put up here. But first of all, I'm going to have to move this spotlight. So one thing I'm not is an electrician. I'm not too worried about this because it's only on the 12 volt network. I do know that much. It looks to me like I would put... I'm not sure. So I'm going to consult with somebody that knows. Okay, so one good thing about this is, okay, it's still live at the moment, I can turn it on, but actually there is a switch underneath here which turns the power off to that spotlight. So there we go. So I've just consulted with my friend that knows about electrics on this. Oops. So what he said was just disconnect the spotlight, leaving the blocks on. So I will reconnect that, tape them up. They're going to be behind there, so that will be fine. So I'm just going to wrap these in a bit of electrical tape and then pop them into that recess. So this is the poster I want to put up. It does fit between the two these two pieces here that come out, so and it looks to me like the four corners here are actually sitting flush to the wall, which obviously we didn't have on the previous poster. So I'm going to mark out the position on the wall where I'd like the poster to be. Yep, seems pretty square. Okay, so I'm going to mark the position of these magnets out equal in all four corners. So I'm going to go 50mm in from the sides. And 30mm in from the top and the bottom. So they're marked, so I'll now drill the recesses with the 10mm brad drill bit. What I'm going to do this time is I'm not going to drill them quite as deep, so if the magnets are sticking out slightly, then it will even up any tolerance in the wall. As I say, I think the four corners on this look like they're pretty flush, but at least if the magnets are sticking out, it'll give it a little bit more tolerance. So I've got all my lines I can work from now, and that looks pretty square. It looks more square at the top actually. 12mm. But then at the bottom, yeah, that's the difference. So this here is sloping upwards as it goes towards the end of the boat. So at the moment I've made sure the poster is level at the top here. We're only talking a small amount, to be honest. We're talking 33, and then here's 35. So it's a 2mm difference. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to carry on. I think that looks pretty square. I don't think it's going to look out really. So we got 50 from the outside line, which is there, and we got 30 from the top, which, yes, is actually right on that point there. Okay. So we'll drill those 4 holes. So now we'll get the super glue and we'll get the magnets. So first as well, I'm going to pop the magnets into the frame. So I'm going to super glue the magnets into the little recesses that I've drilled, making sure that the polarity is correct. So I'm just pulling this one off here. I know that that face that's facing in needs to be facing out here. I'm going to get a new super glue, I think. Don't think this one's, oh, hold on. Yep, it's open, that's okay. Okay, leave that to dry. I put a bit of extra super glue around the edges for it to really get a good hold on those. So it's just going to take a little bit longer for those to dry. So I'm now going to pop the magnets into the wall. So I've got my fresh tube of super glue. Okay. Where did I put my magnets? They're just here. Check on the polarity by popping a magnet onto the magnet on the frame. I'll just see if you can see this. So I've got the magnet here, and so it's automatically clipping on the right side. So now I know that's the way it needs to go in the wall. Now this one. I think that's good, and all of these are actually that tight into the wood that they're not going to pull out, even if the glue hasn't set. So, all being well, this should go up. Boom! Feels pretty solid.
Yada da da da. It's the motherfucking double G.
If you've enjoyed the video and you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed. Please leave a like and a comment, it really helps the channel.